Job cuts are on the table for CEO Carrie Swanson.
People are being warned.
Potential layoffs of locally trained professional journalists at KUOW. President Trump's rescission bill would chop nearly $1.1 billion from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a nonprofit corporation created by Congress to support public radio and TV. The federal CPB funds cover the next 2 budget years. The cut could force radio stations like KUOW to start an emergency fundraiser.
What that will look like is we are going to have a goal of $1.4 million to supplant the CPB funding that would go away for us this fiscal year.
Washington's largest public radio station says it would be on the air trying to raise money and match dollars. The CEO hopes new listeners would chip in to avoid programming changes.
I know that we've heard from some members of Congress that there's lots of time for people to absorb this, but the reality is that the new budget year has already started for many stations.
The Seattle CEO says 92% of KUOW's budget comes from listeners who donate $20 to $100 a month. 47,000 people make up annual donations. The federal CPB makes up 5% of the station's budget.
5% may not sound like a lot, but in a nonprofit organization, that is a lot of the base funding that allows us to fundraise elsewhere.
Federal funds also pay for the satellite system that feeds stations. A cut could force KUOW to pay a share of $400,000. Employees would be forced to squeeze the life out of equipment like microphones.
We will always prioritize community service and our programming, local programming to the community.
7.2 earthquake.
Cuts could jeopardize their ability to get alerts on the air, like the 7.3 magnitude earthquake that struck Alaska. For now, Washington's 17 public radio stations will look for savings where they can.
I never want to go to a staff reduction if I don't have to. Sometimes that has to be on the table, but we're in the business of serving the public. And the best way to do that is with our local programming.
President Trump faces a Friday deadline to sign that legislation into law. The funds still stand if Congress can't get it across the finish line. In Seattle, Alex McClune, King 5 News.